What's going on, guys? So in this video, we're going to talk about 5 things you need to do once the lockdown's over. Considering a lot of states, including here in North Carolina, are lifting lockdown and quarantine measures, I figured it's a good time to do this. If you haven't seen my video that I made on 5 things you should be doing during the lockdown, click the link right there. I'll put it there for you. But I wanted to also make this video because it's really important how you handle leaving lockdown and going back to where life's back to normal is just as important as the time you spent during the lockdown. Before we get into that, my name's Keith. I made this channel to help men create their ideal lives through self-mastery. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos because I put out new videos every single day. So let's get into this. The first thing you need to do after this lockdown is you need to hit the ground running hard, all right? Don't ease back into this. Take massive action, all right? Especially if you were learning some stuff like you should have been during this lockdown period, you need to hit the ground hard with that. You need to go back to the gym and go hard, all right? A lot of people used this opportunity to do nothing with their time, basically, and that's a weak, bitchy move, honestly. There's really no way around it. I know a lot of people who just quit their workout regimens, who didn't use this time to excel at all. They just sat on their asses and watched TV. And look, I love the fact that people are watching my YouTube videos. I really appreciate the support, guys, but if all you did was watch other people's lives this whole time and you didn't focus on your own self-growth, this time was squandered. You need to use some of this time to focus on your own development, so that when this moment happens, you could hit the ground running and go really hard, because that's what's going to happen. That's how people are going to win, all right? The people are going to go off right now and are going to really look to excel now that the world's going back to normal are the ones who are going to win, not the ones who eased back in, not the ones who are too scared to shake hands, not the ones who are chicken shit and hiding in their houses. It's the ones who are going to go after it out there. They're the ones that are going to win. So take action on everything. Start a business if that's what your plan is. Whatever it is, just take action. Second thing I've got: prioritize plans for unpredictable events, all right? The norm in human history, in world history, is unpredictable, wild shit happening. Honestly, the coronavirus was a great test run for this generation, because I'm not trying to make light of anyone who died, but this was honestly so minuscule compared to what Mother Nature can dish out at us, all right? We get massive hurricanes. There's literally a volcano under the Yellowstone National Park that if it erupts, the entire planet is going to go into an ice age, and the entire continent of North America is going to be completely ravaged. It's a massive super volcano. So, like, just so you know, Mother Nature can whip up some crazy shit on us, and this little virus really isn't much to be worried about. And so many people just turned completely chicken shit. They didn't know how to handle any adversity, and you do not want to be that kind of man. But now we've had a good test run for this generation. This is the first time, especially if you live in the Western world like America, that you've really had to deal with any crazy kind of adversity in any way, shape, or form. The last time anything crazy really happened here was the 2008 market crash, and most people in my generation and a little bit younger were not old enough to really comprehend that to that big of a degree. So it's time to prioritize unpredictable events. That means having savings accounts. That means having investment accounts that have money coming in that you don't have to work for it, all right? A lot of people lost their jobs over this situation, and they weren't prepared, and what'd they do? They looked at the government and blamed the government and expected the government to hand them a check. And I mean, I think the stimulus program was fine since the government was going to shut everything down, but at the same time, if you weren't prepared, don't blame the government and expect free money for something. You should have been prepared. I'm not trying to make light of your situation, but you got to take personal responsibility and be prepared. And I wasn't completely prepared either, and I'm going to make sure that never happens again. Third thing I've got goes along with that. Establish a plan for multiple sources of income, all right? By this point, if you haven't figured this out, you can't count on a company or corporation so that you can just blindly go through life and just hope for the best and just assume your job's always going to be there and you cannot be consciously aware of everything going on. I think a lot of people in corporate America do this, where they just assume the corporation's going to handle everything and they can show up and do their little 9-to-5 job and they're going to be fine. But the thing is, economies crash. Most businesses don't last more than 100 years, like max. Like, that's an exceptional business if your business lasts more than 100 years. Most businesses are going to fail in our lifetimes. And then if things like this happen, where now we've got 15% unemployment, 30 million people out of work in the United States of America. And a lot of those are going to go right back, like me. My job, I couldn't do it during this time, but I'm going right back to my primary source of income. But a lot of people also are not, and it's because small businesses weren't able to keep their doors open during this time. Don't be counting on one person to feed you and your family. You have to take personal responsibility of that and get a second source of income. And I'm not talking about making subs at Subway in the evenings. I'm talking about something legitimate so that if your primary source of income goes away, your secondary source of income can hold you for a while. So that means invest in real estate, get some rental properties coming in, or start a business, or do something I'm looking into doing. Start buying cars that you're going to rent out. There's an app called Turo, and Turo is kind of like the Airbnb of cars, basically. But you can buy a car and you can rent it out on there. And if you bought, say, like a $10,000 car and you paid $1,000 down payment on that, if you just rented that car out for 7 days out of the year, you would make profit on the car. I mean, not 7 days out of the year, 7 days out of the month. If you rented that, so if you made 1 week per month, you rented the car out, you would have a profitable business already. And you just got to keep building it from there, and you could have a second source of income. But you got to think about these kinds of things. This is a real great example of why you cannot be dependent on people. A real man, an alpha male, a masculine man is not dependent on the government. He's not dependent on a corporation. He's not sucking at mama's tit for his money. He's going and getting it himself. And it's time for us to start doing that and stop being dependent on people, because look, you just can't count on anything. You don't know what's going to happen. You got to trust yourself, trust your gut, and take action. All right, fourth thing I got, apply the skills you learned on lockdown. Like I was saying in the other video, you got to take this time to get some skills, all right? Focus on your own development. Focus on having something so that when you're stronger when you get out of here. Maybe you you decided it was time to get your health in check, so you learned about nutrition, picked out a fitness plan. Good, it's time to apply that. Maybe you learned a skill that you needed that was going to help you with your job or with your business. Good, it's time to apply that. Let's take these skills we got and let's make something of them. Fifth thing I got, become more social, all right? This is one I struggle with. Well, I don't really struggle with it. I haven't for the longest time prioritized having a great friend group because I've just been focused on other things. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've spent now a month and a half, in some cases longer, where we haven't been able to go out and interact in big groups and have good times with a lot of friends and make new friends and all these things and date. You can't really date very well in this situation either. And don't use this as an excuse to be a recluse, all right? Go out and actually interact more socially, because nothing beats physical interaction, physical social connection. You can't do it through a Zoom call or through text or through FaceTime. It's that person-to-person interaction. And go out and prioritize that, because having a good social circle is a very important part of having a well-rounded, happy life. And I'm not talking about people who aren't up to something, but there's a lot of people out there who, just like you, are on their self-development journey and they want to be great. And you can go find those people, link up with them, and you can help raise each other up. Make that a priority to improve your social circle. I know I am. Last one, I added a bonus on here, and that is to do something to help those in need, all right? My channel is about self-mastery. The self-development niche in general can tend to get a little narcissistic, because you get really, really focused on your self-development. It's all about you and improving you, and that's great, because you can't help other people if you haven't fixed yourself. And I think everything starts at the individual level, so you got to work on yourself, and I'm all for that. But part of that is also you got to drop your ego and drop the narcissism and start looking to help other people. Like I said, 30 million people out of work. I was very fortunate during this time that even though I didn't have my job, I had enough money that I was fine for the time. And now I'm starting my job back, but a lot of people aren't going to start their jobs back, and a lot of people have to put food on the table for their kids, and they can't do that right now. So go help somebody in need, all right? Maybe your neighbor lost their job. Go help them. Go get them some groceries for the day, something like that. Go out and help somebody in need that you know, because everybody's going to know somebody who's in a tight spot right now. Go out and try and help them and give something to these people. I believe in karma big time, and if you go out and start giving to people, first of all, it's scientifically proven that when you give to somebody, you release oxytocin in your brain. So if you want to think about it selfishly, oxytocin is the feel-good chemical. If you go out and give to people, you will release oxytocin in your body. You'll feel better as a person. But like I said, I believe in karma too. And I think if you just go give to people, it will come back to you in ways you don't understand. So start giving to help other people out who are in a worse position than you. Guys, that's all I got for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give me a like so I can reach more guys with my message. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'll see you tomorrow.